Prepare yourself. Better luck next. Glory is... Meet your maker.
It all happened like I knew it would. A single drop of source magic. And, like flies to honey, the monsters swarmed. The rebel panicked. The carnage began. And the magisters pointed their fingers at me. Just as I'd planned. I was shackled and collared and sent to Fort Joy. I'd come here to kill Godwoken. But instead I became part of their story.
So, still a bit groggy, are we? Don't worry. The sedative will wear off soon enough. Easy now. No need to hurry. Get your bearings up.
So it wasn't a dream after all. Not a very chatty fellow, are you? I don't even remember them strapping me down. Boring. Animals die. Freight or food.
Did you expect a needle? Shaking her fluffy coat, the sheep eyes you balefully, her rectangular eyes like letterboxes to the void. With one sharp hoof, she kicked...
It seems as though there's a blood flow. That can't be natural.
Empty.
Why, you're looking a bit more chipper. Yes. Looks like that collar fits you snugly enough. Nice bit of work, even if I do say so myself. There you are. Not too tight, I hope. The collar, I mean. Oh, not to worry. Every dog has to get used to its leash. In the meantime, your next stop will be Magister William. All passengers have to be registered in the ship's manifest, and he's the you'll find him on the other side of this deck, in the officers' quarters. No, you're alive, and you're having a conversation. You are on a ship, of course, But luckily for us both, when...
Index fingers pressed to her lips, she pauses a moment to give you a scrutinizing gander.
My word, you do seem a bit befuddled, don't you? Perhaps I was a bit too generous with that sedative. Oh, well, I'm sure you'll soon gather your wits. Most likely. Eventually. In the meantime, all you need to know is that we're en route to Fort Joy. A new life awaits, and if you're a particularly good boy, perhaps a cure as well. An end to Source. For good. Why, for my peace of mind, of course. Why don't you try casting one of those Source spells of yours? See what happens.
Currents of magic surge inside you, boiling, bursting, then breaking, only to fade back into your soul like rain.
My, look at the concentration on your face. All will, but no result. There you have it. See? The collar's function. It neuters you of sorts. For your own peace of mind, of course. Yours and the whole world's.
Good gods! There's been a murder here.
Ugly sight, isn't it? Burns me up this happened under our protection. We're extremely lucky no Voidwalker followed the source that did this. Finn didn't see it like that. He was desperate for us to help him. Two things scared the living daylights out of him. His own shadow and his own soul. We'll find out who did this. Speaking of...
She looks up at you with a mirthless smile.
I was on duty in your room when the murder happened. You were asleep the whole time. Didn't even stir. You're one of the only indisputably innocent people on the ship. Unless you can commit murder in your sleep, of course. I thought as much. Listen, I could use someone to keep their ears open among the passengers. Sometimes they clam up. Bring me a good lead, and I'll throw in a shiny gold coin for you. How about that? Not in here, it isn't. You let me know if you hear anything. Whoever did this is dangerous. But who?
Why won't you sing? A no doesn't mean a yes over time,
How dare you classify this slop as food? I've seen more
An elf
appetizing-
sits tucked away in a dark spot, lazily rolling dice onto the surface of a barrel. They sound like the dry cackling of an old witch.
Snake eyes.
I've never dined on anything less than a dozen horses, and I don't intend to do
She chuckles.
I bet that's just what they'll look like. Rolling dice. Deciding fates. Don't worry, honey. It isn't yours.
She looks you up and down with the merest hint of a coy smile on her lips.
Never say never, though.
She eyes you suspiciously.
Not the future, no. But I can read the past in flesh. Just like you. I could lick your arm and tell you how you spent the night before last. Shall I?
She gives your arm a vigorous stroke of the tongue, efficient like a cat grooming.
You were in a cellar with other sorcerers. As everyone lay sleeping, you lay awake thinking of someone back home. You were reminiscing about the things you used to do together. Of course it is. The truth's right there, skin deep. You may have to bite a bit deeper, though. Not every elf is as skilled in the art as I am. But anyway, don't you worry, darling. You'll see. I don't lick and tell.
As soon as the Inquisitor gets here, we'll hand you right over the side of this ship with it.
Come on, please, Losa. I forgot how to sing. I did.
A broad dwarf sits totally upright on the bench, eyes closed, palms face up on his knees. His beard, he raises an eyebrow as you approach, but doesn't open his eyes.
Listen up, boy. You hear that?
That right? I always knew you'd turn out rotten, Ben Mist.
He turns his head toward you, looking you up and down, and smiles before turning.
You look like a boy to me. Listen if you're interested, or get gone if you aren't.
His eyes snap open. He looks at you and frowns.
Murder? Ah, that's what they were going on. I wouldn't know anything about it. I kill a man. He knows who done it. His daddy knows who done it. And the mayor knows.
His eyes flutter shut, and he assumes his position.
Whether they catch me is another matter. But I ain't one to hide my accomplishments.
Nothing else I can make, Your Majesty.
The ship, of course.
Are all I was given.
Unacceptable.
A wave of sound washes over you. The unintelligible chatter of your shipmates, the groaning of wood from floor to ceiling, the boom, crash, and
And?
Murder, Your Majesty. Maybe that has the Magister's more concern than your appetite.
Don't you get saucy with me when you clearly don't know the first thing about...
Sick as a leper's cat. From the state of it, I'd say she's being cared for by a bunch of beardless babes who never loved anyone but their own mums. But there's more. Listen close. There now, just like that.
squeak!
Aha!
His eyes snap open as his countenance breaks into an expression of joy. One great paw claps.
There. You heard it, didn't you? I knew it. I knew it. Aye, this is good news, boy. Good news.
Well, you've got this wolf on a leash now.
As soon as the Inquisitor gets here, we'll hand you right over the side.
No, you beautiful idiot. That wasn't any rat. It was the wheel. Squeaks whenever the helmsman jerks it clockwise, which means we're headed. Pardon my beard. That means if we've been traveling for, yes, only 10.34 nautical miles to Fort Joy. No indeed, boy. But that ain't my final destination.
The dwarf leans back from the table and strokes his beard, gold medallions jingling merrily.
That'll be all. Thank you kindly, boy.
Forget it.
He continues stroking his beard, a beatific smile on his lips.
That right? I always knew you'd turn out rotten, Ben Mist. Your kind always hung closest to our divine, like wolves around a campfire.
Well, you've got this wolf on a leash now.
As soon as the Inquisitor gets here, we'll hand you right over the side of this ship with it.
Well, well, what have we here? A fresh face in this stale...
The lizard looks you up and down, like a farmer would a fetching horse. All of a sudden, he grips you firmly by the chin, with the intent of inspecting your teeth.
You put a knuckle in it. I'm trying to concentrate.
My, we are fierce, aren't we? Not to worry. I'll soon remedy that. Now then, to business. You will answer me 3 questions. The first one is this. Can you cook?
Can we just skip to the part where I reassure you?
Ah, music to my beleaguered stomach. On to the second question. Can you knit, weave? In short, tailor?
Surely.
What are you trying to hear anyway?
I'll tell you if you can...
Oh, but to feel the caress of satin on my scarlet skin once more. A most satisfactory. On then to my final query. Have you the ability to administer the upkeep of one's personal appearance? The delicate art of cosmetics is what I'm after. Just as I thought. That explains what's besieging my nostrils. So, 3 questions asked, 3 questions answered. Let's evaluate. As per your own testimony, you can cook and tailor, but your personal hygiene reminds one of a cut. Still, beggars can't be choosers. So without further ado, I offer you my sincerest congratulations. As of now, you are my slave. You should probably come to terms with the fact that you've half a mind, full stop. Rein in your impertinence, will you? Anyway, you may leave me for a moment. We'll go over your duties once...
Knuckle in it. I'm trying to concentrate.
They don't care about us. We're like cattle to them.
I'll give you that knuckle if you keep carrying on.
One of us would
The woman keeps rolling her dice. She pays you no further notice.
Can we just skip to the part where I reassure you and you shut up?
You think me mad?
Mad? No. Insufferable.
A scruffy man lounges against the wall with scarred arms folded. A sly smile playing on his face, he stares across at the Magister guarding him.
Watch your back, new fish. There's a murderer on board, and I'd bet 3 months' pay it's this tramp Ifan.
Rolling his eyes at the Magister's warning, the man named Ifan beckons again. He leans in and adjusts your collar with a sharp tug, balancing its weight so it no longer presses unpleasantly on your neck. He winks.
Pinches less that way, right?
Hocking a phlegmy gobbet in your general direction, the sullen Magister settles back to his task of glowering at Ifan. And now, you.
There has been a murder, Your Majesty. Maybe...
We used to know each other, more's the pity. I was his commander many, many, many moons ago.
Standing far back from Ifan, the tight-faced Magister draws one finger across his throat. Ifan grins, flashing pointed white teeth.
Same as he was at 14 years old. Only difference is somebody gave him a bigger sword and now he's Johnny Big Pants. Long no. The dead man, Finn, is it? I'd no business with him. And I wouldn't put a man...
He glances over at Magister Victor, who's staring back at him with pointed intensity.
Damn shame sheer annoyance isn't reason enough. The joy, I've heard a lot. Nothing good. No surprise there, since Bishop Alexander runs. Wonder if we'll get to meet the ringmaster himself.
I'll tell you if you can keep it quiet long enough for me to listen.
Easy now. I might think the same, but Vic here will blow a blood vessel if he hears you talking like...
What are you conspiring about over there? You, elf, what's your name?
Oh, don't mind him. Vic's just got a bee in his bonnet. And that bee is me.
Name?
I've seen more appetizing things coming out of plague-stricken pigs.
There's nothing else...
Magister Victor looks at you suspiciously, then scrawls something illegible down in a tiny notebook. He scowls at you as he stows the note...
Away with you, at once.
Ifan performs an elaborate pantomime of keeping quiet.
There has been a murder, Your Majesty. Maybe that has the Magisters more concerned than your appetite.
Don't you get saucy with me.
I spent my life singing for my slaves to bring me my supper. Finer fare than... Meanwhile, the Magisters feast on honeyed...
Rotten Ben Nest. Your kind always hung closest to our divine, like wolves around a campfire.
Ah, there you are. Husband. Would you please tell this very charming gaggle of not-at-all brat-like babes that I am by no accounts this loser woman, nor do I sing, in fact. I'm deathly allergical.
The young woman seems about to raise her hand, but quickly remembers herself and nods.
Who indeed? Why, my name is, Madame Josephine Gribbles de Peeb.
The children break out into giggles.
I say, it is.
Her pinched face cracks into a great grin, and she shoos the children away from her with a laugh.
Yeah, okay, you found me out. Go on and git, and maybe I'll sing you something when I'm good and ready.
She turns to you, dark-eyed and dirty-haired, and smiles flatly.
Gotta keep ourselves entertained, haven't we?
What are you trying to hear anyway?
You presume right. Nope. Trying not to find anything out either. Ignorance is bliss. The utterer, the better. Thanks, but I already belong to an elite and exclusive ship gang. We play ball every day after lunch. You take care, though.
Suddenly, her eyes cloud to an unnatural black. Greyish veins run down her face, and her mouth tightens as quickly as they came. The clouds clear. She smiles.
Good luck, Chief.
Would you put a knuckle in it? I'm trying to concentrate.
They don't care about us.
There's nothing
We're
else I
like
can
cattle to
make,
them.
Your Majesty.
I'll
Turnips
give
and
you that
water
knuckle
are
if you
all
keep
I was
carrying
given.
on.
The elf is reading a volume of Cranley Hubert's famous encyclopedia. He looks up. His big round eyes scan. He reaches out and examines your face, tugging at your ears and prodding your nose.
Your Majesty.
Fascinating.
He sits back and returns to his book, flicking quickly from page to page, completely oblivious to your presence.
It is simultaneously too detailed and insufficient. I know the beginning of this tale and the end. Tell me, what do you know of our world's history? Oh, please. I have no interest in that. Your books are too full. No, I want to know about the Celestial. This text tells me that they created all Where did these gods come from? Who are their people? Where are the others of their kind?
Turnips and water are all I was given.
Of course you don't have any useful information. What? Now please, run along.
No amount of pestering will get the elf to take his eyes off his book or respond to your
Maybe that has the Magisters more concerned than your appetite.
Don't you get saucy with me when you clearly don't know the first thing about sauce.
Keep those bolts trained on her, and if she tries... It was one of them. I know it.
It's a register, sir. Good, good. Magister Williams is just about done with the last pass. You faring okay so far?
He tugs the collar of his uniform and chuckles.
Sorry you're upset, sir. But we all wear what we wear for a reason. You head on in now. Williams will get you sorted.
Insufferable. Keep those bolts trained on her, and if she tries to run, shoot attack here anyway.
Standing at the center of the room, you spot a sorcerer haughtily eyeing a pair of nervous-looking magisters. They keep their crossbow trained upon her as she's being interrogated by an officer.
So you admit it then? You murdered that poor fella? Yes, I did. But of course that was only the beginning.
She turns her head and looks you straight in the eye.
There are others whose lives must end. Good God! The woman's mad! You there, sorcerer! Go and fetch Magister Siwan! We need to do more than collar this maniac. We need to shackle her, hands and feet. No, I'm afraid I always perform my part solo. Do stay and watch, though, because...
She reaches for her collar and simply removes it.
I'm just about to create a scene.
Subdue her, men, quickly! If she casts source, the Voidwoken will come. They'll end us all.
She smiles with wicked satisfaction.
Precisely.
What's happened?
The young woman lies in a heap on the floor. She's breathing normally, but her eyes are wide open, like those of a corpse.
No. No,
Not the final dark. Not yet.
It's no use. Your words do not...
The dice roll darkly. They're rolling for me.
The dwarf lies in a heap on the floor, his great beard twisted and tangled around him. You hear a faint thud, thud, thud.
Oh! What happened? You dare strike...
The lizard's eyes close as he slips in... The Magister lies on the floor, unconscious and bleeding from a dire-looking wound.
The hatch is blocked. I need to find another way.
As the dead man's flesh slides down your throat, you feel his consciousness enter yours. His memories are yours to experience. You are Finn. Your heart is heavy. You know too much. It's all too much. You met him. A bright light blinds you, then fades. You feel a tremendous power in your hands, but they are shaking so suddenly you're on this very ship, crouched in a corner, hugging your knees. A figure approaches, an older woman. Her eyes are kind. She reaches a hand toward you. You grasp it. The memories end. You are no longer Finn.
Not long before this thing snaps into...
Onwards and upwards!
Thank the gods. By divine grace, who was that howling?
He eyes the collar circling your neck and reaches a hand towards his blade.
Another sorcerer! Even if I knew how to rip that thing off, I wouldn't. Some crazy banshee comes screaming through, and now we got void bugs swarming up top. Saw it coming, I did. Sorcerer mutiny. Your lies end.
Bishop Alexander. If Lucian were alive, what would he think of his son's
And you thought
divine
Rivelon was
order?
flat.
Damn it! Need to get off this wreck and quick! Great gods! Something's pounding on the hull!
through the door and are suddenly face to face with an undead. His skull is bizarrely angular, and a glorious jewel, the skeleton is quickly leafing through a volume of Cranley Hubert's famous encyclopedia.
No, no, no! What damn fools record knowledge on a pulped tree? It catches fire, it turns into must when wet. It cannot even resist acid! No.
The skeleton looks up and notices...
Oh, it's you. Shouldn't you be running and screaming or some such?
The skeleton groans and looks back to his book, frantically flipping from page to page.
Yes, indeed. It's the look of someone that wants... Now, if you're really quite finished, I believe you have lifeboats to flee to. Please, I was no more an elf than you are those rags you're wearing. I had a mask, rather ingeniously designed, which allowed me to... A mask that was stolen by that damned witch after her... Still, she'll drown with the rest of these fools, and I will simply pluck my mask from her cold, dead hands.
The skeleton holds up his book in one quick, frustrated...
I am trying to discover if there is anyone worth... And I will be damned if I let the lives of some mayflies get in my way. Go on, go. Swim or drown or do whatever takes your fancy.
The marking on the door was painted recently, judging from its pungent scent. You recognize the symbol immediately for what it is. A warning of death fog within. You press your palm against the door to open it. The wood feels neither cold nor warm, but simply grey. It doesn't budge. The door groans open, but an ashen shadow clouds your mind.
Death fog! I need to get out of here! Now!
chance.
Shut your trap, kid! Children and dwarfs first, just like the old stories say.
The dwarf yanks at one of the nearby ropes to no avail.
You said there were other people down there. We need...
You see those tentacles, kid? It's time for getting the hell out of here. Hear that, kid? We need to go!
But what about the ladder? It's right over there. You can go straight down. Thank you, thank you, thank you!
You're gonna be the death of us, you hear? Had to open your big mouth.
Wait! Voidwoken!
These beardless bugs would sink the ship on my watch.
Let the games begin.
They who are about to triumph.
I thought Voidwoken was supposed to be scary.
I've faced worse.
We make a pretty good team.
Let's not
There's no time.
I have plans for you, child. Rise.
Honorable Dallas, we lost a ship sailing sorcerer prisoners to Fort Joy. We assume some escaped and broke their collars. Their vile magic lured the Voidwoken. All who were aboard are presumed dead. Yours faithfully into eternity, High Judge Oriven.
Those Voidwoken made short bloody work of the ship. Am I the lone survivor? It seems someone, something, wanted me alive.